There are mornings when we awaken with a heavy heart, burdened by worries about work, family responsibilities, or sometimes an unnamed emptiness. Modern life traps us in a repetitive cycle where each new day feels like a weary copy of the last. Yet, in those very moments, Stoic philosophy reminds us, each morning is a chance to reinvent ourselves, not just a fresh start, but a true rebirth of the mind. You cannot erase all challenges, but you can always choose how to respond. You can train your mind to rise above circumstances. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That is the essence of Stoicism, knowing that you can reinvent your mind, reset your spirit each morning, and face life with calm and resilience. Here are 10 practical lessons to help you nurture your mind's ability to regenerate. Turn each morning into a starting point for an energetic day and proactively master yourself. 1. Recognize and accept what you cannot control. One of life's few guarantees is that we are never fully in control. No matter how meticulously we plan, how fiercely we strive, there will always be unexpected twists and events that upend our intentions, outcomes that defy our hopes, and forces that simply refuse to bend to our will. Yet, despite knowing this, so many of us still cling to the comforting illusion of control. We grasp for certainty, believing that if we just try harder or worry more, somehow we can steer everything to our favor. But this is the very root of much of our daily suffering. The problem begins in our own minds. Most of our anxiety is born not from what actually happens, but from our desperate attempts to control what cannot be controlled. We fret over the opinions of others, hoping we might mold their thoughts to match our own expectations. We agonize over results, whether it's a job application, a relationship, or even the weather, wishing we could dictate the outcome. The truth is, much of life will always be out of our hands. Still, we exhaust ourselves trying to micromanage the uncontrollable, and in doing so, we sacrifice our peace of mind. Every morning, before the day sweeps us up in its demands, there is a crucial question we can ask ourselves. Is this within my control? It is a deceptively simple filter, yet it holds the power to liberate us from countless self-imposed burdens. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, began each day by reminding himself to focus only on what he could influence. Reflecting on this wisdom, we start to see a solution emerge. The path forward is not about surrendering to passivity or ignoring the world. Instead, it's about cultivating a deep awareness of the line between what is ours to change and what is not. By learning to recognize and accept what we cannot control, we give ourselves permission to stop fighting unwinnable battles. Our mornings no longer begin with worry about the uncontrollable, but with a sense of clarity and calm. This simple shift from resistance to acceptance allows us to reclaim our emotional energy, redirecting it toward actions that truly matter. When we release our grip on what lies beyond our reach, a surprising thing happens. We discover the freedom to focus on ourselves, our character, our responses, our daily choices. This is the real arena of control, the place where growth and peace become possible. Instead of waking up dreading what the day might bring, we rise with confidence, ready to engage with what we can shape and prepared to let go of what we cannot. In this way, The practice of recognizing and accepting what we cannot control is not defeatist. It is, in fact, the ultimate act of courage and the surest way to reinvent our minds every single morning. 2. Set clear intentions for the day. Every morning arrives as a blank canvas, fresh and untouched, yet for many people, that blankness is overwhelming. Too often, we begin our days on autopilot, swept along by routine or obligations, letting emails, messages, and external demands dictate our actions and our mindset. In this reactive state, our sense of direction fades. We become passive participants in our own lives, allowing circumstances and other people to shape our day before we have even chosen how we want to live it. This is not just an issue of productivity or organization. It is about reclaiming a sense of ownership over who we are and what we wish to become, day after day. The underlying problem is simple but profound. Without clear intentions, we are easily scattered, distracted, and influenced. Our energy is finite, our time non-renewable, and yet, without purpose, both are spent in ways that often leave us feeling dissatisfied or unfulfilled. The mind, left unguided, drifts toward whatever is loudest or most urgent, rather than what is truly important. In the absence of intention, it is easy to lose sight of our values, to forget what matters, or even to neglect the things that quietly give us joy and meaning. Yet, the solution lies within reach. Setting clear intentions for the day is not about rigid planning or adding pressure to achieve extraordinary things. Instead, it is about pausing just for a few minutes each morning to listen inwardly and ask, who do I want to be today? What truly matters right now? What small, meaningful actions can I commit to, regardless of how the day unfolds? These intentions act as gentle guides, not constraints. They shape how we respond to events, how we interact with others, and how we treat ourselves. Tony Robbins, a master of motivation and personal transformation, embodies this practice. Each morning, he begins with a ritual he calls priming, a blend of breathwork, meditation, and writing. Through this ritual, he clarifies his goals and intentions, setting the emotional and mental tone for the day ahead. By consciously defining what he hopes to experience, contribute to, and focus on, Robbins takes charge of his mindset rather than surrendering it to chance or circumstance. This daily commitment is not about chasing perfection, but about choosing presence and direction again and again. The wisdom behind this approach is timeless. In other words, true strength begins not with controlling what happens to us, but with controlling our focus and our response. When we set intentions, we train our minds to return again and again to what is meaningful, regardless of chaos or uncertainty. This small, quiet discipline becomes a source of resilience. It reminds us that we are never powerless, even on the most difficult days, because we can always choose how we show up, what we prioritize, and who we decide to become. In the end, setting clear intentions is an act of self-respect. It means refusing to let the day decide for you who you are or what you stand for. With intention, each morning becomes not just another repetition, but a fresh chance to shape your story, to act with purpose, and to grow into the person you most want to be. 3. Face difficulties instead of avoiding them. We are all experts at avoidance. Our minds are not so much thinking machines as they are avoiding machines. What's astonishing is that we rarely notice this pattern. Most of the time, we don't even realize we're dodging what we need to face. Let me give you a few examples. Right now, as you read this, it's likely that you are putting off thinking about something difficult. We compulsively check messages, news feeds, and notifications, all to escape some task or worry that waits quietly in the back of our minds. When life gets hard, our instinct is to convince ourselves that it's fine because filling in the blank with whatever excuse is most convenient. Sometimes we drown discomfort in busyness, distractions, or even numbing habits like drinking, simply to avoid confronting pain or challenge. When a real problem arises, our immediate impulse is to do something else, anything else. So we put off paying bills, ignore that long email, delay organizing the mess at home, or skip that workout because it feels uncomfortable. But the real question is, does avoidance actually help? Or does it, in fact, quietly multiply the stress and anxiety we feel? In the best-selling book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, the author shares a crucial insight. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Avoiding difficulties is not just putting things off. It is reinforcing an identity of avoidance. On the other hand, even the smallest act of facing a challenge is a vote for resilience, growth, and inner strength. The solution lies in a shift of mindset, a conscious decision every morning to face what is uncomfortable instead of turning away. The world's great thinkers have understood this for centuries. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When we truly absorb this, everything changes. The obstacle is not just something to get around, it is the path itself. That painful conversation, that looming deadline, that fear you keep running from, they are the way forward, not just distractions on your journey. Terry Crews, the actor and former NFL player, experienced firsthand the liberation that comes with facing pressure head-on. By stepping into his struggles, not away from them, he reclaimed a sense of control and self-respect that had been missing for years. His story reminds us that courage is built, not found, by the daily practice of turning toward the difficult. In the end, every morning gives us a new chance. The avoidance habit is strong, but so is our potential to rewrite it, one challenge, one brave step at a time. 4. Practice gratitude every morning. Every morning, before diving into the hustle and bustle of the day, Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks, would ask himself one simple question: what am I grateful for today? This small practice, lasting no more than a minute, would center his mind and set the tone for the challenges ahead. Imagine how powerful it would be if each of us took just a moment each morning to reflect on something we are thankful for, whether it's a warm cup of coffee, the love of family, or the opportunity to learn and grow. The act of practicing gratitude can transform our mental state, making us feel lighter, more positive, and ready to take on the world. In today's fast-paced world, we are often consumed by the chaos and demands that surround us. The pressure to achieve, the endless list of tasks, and the weight of past regrets can easily cloud our judgment and our mood. Yet, in the midst of all this, we have the power to choose how we respond. When we begin each day by focusing on the things we appreciate, we shift our perspective. Instead of dwelling on what we lack or what we've lost, we acknowledge what we still have, and this act of recognition brings peace and a sense of contentment. Take a moment to reflect on Mark Manson's best-selling book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. In one of its key lessons, Manson emphasizes the importance of accepting life's imperfections and focusing on what truly matters. He writes, "The more we care about things that don't matter, the more we miss out on things that do." Gratitude is an antidote to this trap. It helps us focus on what really counts, the things we often overlook amidst the noise of daily life. By dedicating just 1 minute each morning to gratitude, we begin our day with intention and mindfulness. This small but powerful practice not only boosts our mental health, but also cultivates a resilient and optimistic mindset. Instead of letting external circumstances dictate our mood, we take control by choosing gratitude as the foundation for the day. As we finish the practice of gratitude, we are better equipped to face what comes next, especially when emotions and challenges arise. But as we've learned, it's essential to listen to our emotions without allowing them to control us. The next step in this journey is understanding the role emotions play in our lives and how we can manage them effectively to maintain balance. Are we truly in control of our emotions, or do they control us? This question leads us to our next life lesson. Let's dive deeper into that next. 5. Listen to your emotions, but don't let them control you. Imagine your emotions as the weather. Sometimes a storm rages within, while other times the sun shines through with warmth and clarity. We are all familiar with the turbulent mornings when anxiety clouds our thoughts, when sadness seems to blanket the day, or when anger rises without warning. But just as we cannot control the weather, we cannot always control our emotions. The key, however, lies in how we respond to them. Emotions, like the weather, are temporary, and how we choose to navigate through them shapes the course of our day. Emotions are signals, not commands. They arise to alert us, to inform us of our inner world or our reactions to external events. It is easy to mistake them for the guiding force in our lives, to let them dictate our decisions and actions. However, if we allow emotions to control us, we risk becoming slaves to them. The morning, in particular, is a vulnerable time. We often wake up with a mixture of feelings that can either empower or overwhelm us. A restless mind may greet the new day with stress, a sense of urgency, or a negative thought that colors everything that follows. However, rather than viewing these emotions as directives, we can choose to observe them as they are, temporary, fleeting, and manageable. The first step is to acknowledge them without judgment. You might wake up feeling the weight of yesterday's frustrations, or perhaps there's a tinge of anxiety about the day ahead. Rather than pushing these emotions away or being consumed by them, simply notice them. Recognize them as a part of you, but not the entirety of who you are. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This quote by Epictetus serves as a reminder that while we cannot control the external events in our lives, we always possess the ability to choose how we respond, especially emotionally. Take, for instance, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who has openly discussed how every morning he battles his own negative emotions. Despite the massive success and accomplishments, he acknowledges that he too experiences moments of doubt, frustration, and stress. But what sets him apart is his ability to act, not based on his emotions, but on his commitment to doing what's necessary. Every morning, he makes a conscious decision to take action, regardless of how he feels. This is a powerful lesson. While our emotions may present themselves first thing in the morning, we do not have to surrender our day to them. Instead, we have the ability to choose how we act, how we respond, and ultimately, how we live. So, what is the solution? It lies in choosing to be the observer of your emotions, not the servant. When you wake up and feel the heaviness of worry, or perhaps a spark of irritation, take a moment to pause. Don't react immediately. Take a breath, acknowledge the emotion, and remind yourself that it is temporary. Then, make the decision to act from a place of logic, focus, and purpose. Instead of letting your emotions drive your actions, let your intentions and goals guide you. By practicing this daily, we create a powerful habit of emotional resilience. It may not always be easy. Some mornings will feel more overwhelming than others, but with consistent practice, you will begin to recognize that emotions, while valid, do not have to control the course of your day. Just like the weather, they will pass. The key is to remain steady, to steer your ship through the storm and into clearer skies. Ultimately, emotions are part of the human experience, but they need not govern us. The morning is a fresh start, a new opportunity to reclaim control and set the tone for the rest of the day. We may not be able to stop the storm, but we can choose how we respond to it. And in that choice, we find the strength to create a day and a life lived on our own terms. 6. Simplify your life. Eliminate the redundancy. Have you ever woken up in the morning feeling overwhelmed by the sheer number of decisions you need to make throughout the day? From choosing what to wear to deciding what project to prioritize, our minds often become cluttered with an endless list of tasks and worries. But what if you could simplify your life by eliminating redundancy and focusing on what truly matters? How much clearer and more energized would your mind feel? Mornings present a unique opportunity to reset and start fresh. And one of the most powerful ways to do so is by simplifying the decisions you make early in the day. By consciously removing the unnecessary, you can create a clear mental space that allows you to focus on the essential. This is a strategy that many successful entrepreneurs swear by, understanding the power of a streamlined approach to both life and work. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to begin your day is by eliminating the small distractions and redundancies that drain your mental energy. Instead of waking up and diving immediately into a long list of to-dos, try taking a moment to prioritize what is truly important. What are the few things you absolutely must achieve today? What tasks can be postponed, delegated, or simply let go of? By making these decisions first thing in the morning, you're giving yourself the mental clarity and focus to tackle the day with confidence. Take, for example, Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder of Facebook. Zuckerberg is well known for his minimalist approach to daily decisions, particularly when it comes to his wardrobe. He famously wears the same grey t-shirt every day, stating that this decision helps him conserve his energy for the more important choices he faces in his role as a tech leader. By simplifying the small things, Zuckerberg ensures that his mental resources are focused on solving big challenges like product innovation and strategic decisions, rather than wasting time on trivial matters like clothing. The power of simplifying your life is not just about reducing clutter in your environment, but also in your decision-making process. In a world that constantly demands more from us, more meetings, more tasks, more emails, simplification helps to counterbalance the noise. By eliminating redundancy, you not only save time, but also preserve your mental and emotional energy for what truly matters. This is especially important for those who find themselves stuck in the whirlwind of modern life, where distractions are abundant and our attention is constantly divided. Simplifying your life in the morning doesn't mean eliminating all challenges or hard work. Instead, it's about being intentional in your approach to the day. When you start with a clear mind and a focused agenda, you're more likely to experience a sense of accomplishment and control as the day unfolds. You will be more present in your interactions, more productive in your work, and more connected with your true goals. So, tomorrow morning, take a moment to pause before diving into the chaos of your day. Ask yourself, what truly matters today? What can I let go of? By creating this space for clarity, you'll find yourself energized and better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. As you reflect on this idea, how do you simplify your mornings? Do you have any practices that help you eliminate the unnecessary and focus on what matters? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you streamline your day and how it impacts your life. 7. See failure as a lesson, not the end. Failure is often viewed as a painful, regretful ending to an effort, something we instinctively want to avoid or forget. However, many of us fall into the trap of carrying the weight of past failures into the new day, allowing them to cloud our judgment and paralyze our actions. We wake up, and the first thing that comes to mind is the mistake we made yesterday, the opportunity missed, or the project that fell short of expectations. This mindset is both limiting and draining. Instead of letting these past missteps define us, we should recognize them as valuable lessons, as stepping stones for growth and improvement. The challenge we face is that failure, by its very nature, evokes negative emotions, guilt, frustration, and self-doubt. These emotions can be overwhelming and easily lead to a cycle of self-criticism and despair. But what if we could shift our perception of failure? Rather than seeing it as an end, we could view it as a beginning, an opportunity for change. Every failure carries with it the seeds of growth. It provides us with insights, opens our eyes to areas of improvement, and teaches us what does not work. Each setback is merely an experience that provides data for refinement, a necessary part of the journey toward success. Consider the example of Thomas Edison, who famously failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the electric light bulb. Edison didn't view each failure as an irredeemable defeat. Instead, he famously stated, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison understood that failure is a process of discovery. Each failure narrowed his focus, bringing him closer to the solution. In our own lives, we can adopt a similar mindset. Instead of allowing past failures to haunt us, we can choose to see them as invaluable lessons. When we fail, we are not finished. We are simply in the process of refining ourselves. The next time you wake up, don't focus on what went wrong the day before. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently today? By approaching failure in this way, we set ourselves up not for despair, but for growth, progress, and ultimately, success. 8. Create space to reflect and breathe deeply. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it is easy to become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks, responsibilities, and distractions that demand our attention each day. Whether it's preparing for work, handling family matters, or dealing with societal pressures, our minds are constantly bombarded with information, leaving little room for clarity or peace. This constant mental noise can lead to stress, anxiety, and even burnout if left unchecked. To counter this, it is essential to create moments of stillness and mindfulness, especially in the mornings, before diving into the chaos of the day. A simple but profoundly effective solution is to dedicate a few minutes each morning to deep breathing, quiet reflection, or a short meditation session. These practices help ground the mind, allowing it to become focused and centered before the day's demands take over. When you take the time to breathe deeply and reflect on your thoughts, you clear the mental fog that so often clouds judgment and decision-making throughout the day. This space for introspection not only reduces stress, but also fosters a sense of calm and control, enabling you to approach each challenge with a clearer, more balanced perspective. One of the most well-known figures who valued this practice was Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. Before tackling his daily responsibilities, he would spend time writing in his journal, reflecting on his thoughts and actions, as well as contemplating his purpose. This daily habit helped him find clarity, reaffirm his principles, and prepare himself mentally for the difficult decisions ahead. Research has also shown the power of these morning rituals in improving mental well-being. A study conducted by Dr. Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 2003 found that mindfulness meditation can actually change the brain's structure, enhancing areas related to emotional regulation and stress reduction. This highlights the long-term benefits of incorporating such practices into your routine. By giving yourself the gift of a few quiet moments each morning, you cultivate a sense of peace that will sustain you throughout the day. Try to implement this simple habit tomorrow, and you may be surprised by how much more focused and at ease you feel. Have you ever tried dedicating time to reflection and deep breathing in the morning? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. 9. Choose a proactive attitude in every situation. Every morning is a fresh opportunity, a new beginning where we can take control of how the day unfolds. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time. His words embody a powerful truth. We cannot control the situations we face, but we always have control over our reactions to them. This proactive approach is a choice we must make every single day. Consider a day when you wake up and nothing seems to go as planned. Maybe you're facing a challenge at work, a personal issue, or even an unexpected setback. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming the circumstances, feeling overwhelmed by the weight of it all. We often look for external reasons to explain why things aren't going well, and in doing so, we surrender our power. We allow the circumstances to dictate our mindset and emotions, which only deepens the feeling of helplessness. However, the solution lies in a shift in mindset, an intentional decision to take charge of our reactions, no matter the situation. This is where the real power lies, in choosing how to respond. Rather than letting external challenges dictate your mood or mindset, start your day with the resolve to act rather than react. Embrace the challenges as opportunities to grow, learn, and move forward. Your attitude, not the situation, will determine how you experience the day. By adopting a proactive attitude, you not only regain control over your life, but also train yourself to become resilient in the face of adversity. It's not about ignoring the difficulties or pretending they don't exist. It's about responding with strength, clarity, and purpose. Michael Jordan's approach to his game wasn't just about talent. It was about mental preparation. Every morning he made the conscious decision to face his challenges head-on, knowing that how he responded to adversity would shape his future success. As we wrap up this lesson on proactivity, it's important to recognize that our actions today shape our journey tomorrow. But as we embrace this proactive mindset, let's also remember that we must practice something equally important: patience and forgiveness with ourselves. And that's exactly what we'll dive into in the final lesson, a vital concept for sustaining long-term growth and peace of mind. Stay tuned for a powerful exploration of how being kind to yourself can unlock the strength needed to thrive. 10. Practice patience and forgiveness with yourself. There are days when nothing seems to go as planned, when our best efforts are met with setbacks, and we're left feeling disappointed and frustrated. On those days, it's easy to fall into a spiral of self-blame, second-guessing every decision and wondering what went wrong. We often criticize ourselves harshly, forgetting that we would never treat someone else the way we treat ourselves in those moments. This internal dialogue of self-criticism can be a heavy burden, and if we're not careful, it can lead to feelings of helplessness, guilt, and regret. Instead of succumbing to this destructive cycle, there's a simple yet powerful remedy: practice patience and forgiveness with yourself. Just as you would show compassion to a friend who is struggling, you must offer the same kindness to yourself. Remind yourself that you are human and setbacks are a part of life. Mistakes are inevitable, but they do not define you. They are merely stepping stones on the path of growth and learning. One example of this practice is the late Robin Williams. He was a man who, despite his incredible success, struggled with his own inner demons. Yet every morning Williams would remind himself to be kind to his own heart, to avoid drowning in self-judgment, and to embrace the imperfections of life. He acknowledged that, like everyone else, he had days when things didn't go right, but rather than punishing himself, he chose to embrace patience and understanding. He knew that self-compassion would lead to greater peace of mind and a clearer path forward. If we can begin each day with the intention to forgive ourselves for past mistakes, to be patient with our progress, and to accept that things don't always go as planned, we free ourselves from the burden of constant self-criticism. This shift in mindset doesn't mean we stop striving for better. Rather, it allows us to move forward with more grace and clarity. By practicing patience and forgiveness, we not only lighten our emotional load, but also create the space to grow, learn, and evolve into the best version of ourselves. Reinventing your mind is not a miraculous event that happens overnight, but rather a daily practice. Every morning, you have the opportunity to start fresh. Choose what to focus on, let go of what you can't control, and face challenges with calmness and clarity. Stoic philosophy teaches us that mastering our minds is the first step to mastering our lives. It's about taking control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions to shape a life that aligns with your values and goals. So, start tomorrow. A small shift in mindset can lead to a huge difference in how you live, work, and enjoy each day. The journey of self-improvement is ongoing, but every morning is a chance to build a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more motivational content based on Stoic philosophy. By sharing this message, you're not only helping others, but you're also committing to your own growth. Let's keep growing together.